mentioned, we've heard the word happiness, we've heard the word meaningful, we've heard the word purposeful, and you're now mentioning this matrix or this measure of flourishing. Would you mind talking a little bit more qualitatively about that, especially as those of us in the room think about engaging undergraduates? I myself, I'm a philosophy researcher, and my research is on something I call uncomfortable virtues and the importance of sort of avoiding that happiness trap, which I think is one of the dysfunctional beliefs. And so I'll just share that I did a pilot on my campus. Well, I will be doing a pilot on my campus of philosophy of the good life undergraduate class with a few other campuses. So if anyone is interested in, I would love to expand that to a few more campuses, but we're doing a pilot and we'll be bringing in materials from your work, Bill's work, and also bringing in a bunch of humanities and arts faculty. But I did a pilot with staff, and one of the ways that I set up that pilot was to deactivate right up front that dysfunctional belief about happiness. And in the comment,
tell me, what's the dysfunctional belief?
The sense that one measures a good life in terms of dancing around and in terms of not having real human challenge.
Okay, can I speak to that?
Oh, yes.
Bit? Okay, so like I'm thinking about Carol Riff's work on well-being, and her idea, from empirically grounded, is that well-being falls into kind of two large domains. One is hedonic well-being, and that's probably what colloquially we think of as happiness, right? It's like, am I having a good time right now? Is this a nice party? Is this a nice conference? You know, that's it, at moment to moment. And that is a moment to moment experience. Something annoying may happen an hour from now and I won't feel happy, right? And so, and what the research shows is that some people really prioritize this form of well-being more than the other form, which is called eudaimonic well-being. It comes from Aristotle. And eudaimonic well-being is that longer-term sense of my life has meaning, my life has purpose. The best example that someone gave me, it was a mom, and she said, okay, and she's also a psychologist, said, okay, I'm reading to my child before bed, and I'm exhausted, and I've read the book Goodnight Moon 7 times, and my child is saying, Mommy, read it again, read it again. Okay. Am I having fun reading Goodnight Moon for the 8th time? No. Is it the most meaningful thing I could imagine doing right now? Yes. So the distinction, and what the research finds is that both this eudaimonic well-being and hedonic well-being are, everybody wants some of both, but some people really prioritize one more than the other. There's also a new interesting line of research out of Columbia. Ishii is his last name, I think, the investigator, who writes about the psychologically rich life. And he says there's another subgroup of people that really prioritizes rich psychological experiences. Not so much long-term meaning and purpose, not so much momentary fun, but just I want stimulation. I want to travel to new places. I want to skydive. I want to, you know. And so that's an interesting new area of research where they're trying to slice the happiness pie a little differently. So I think the way we think about it now is, and I think what you're probably speaking to is the dysfunctional belief that you can be happy all the time, particularly in the hedonic sense. No human being is happy all the time. And I think what can go with that is the idea that if I'm not happy all the time, I must be doing something wrong, right? That if you have it all figured out in life, you'll be happy all the time. That's just not the truth for anybody. So I think that, anyway, so that's what I know about how the research world is thinking about happiness these days. I know there are other ways to cut the pie, but that's the best developed rubric that I've found. Yeah.
We have a question from the online participants. This question comes from Jennifer Wilkin. She says, do you find gender differences in response or receptivity to this approach?
Oh, yeah. I think women are more accustomed to this kind of discussion. And most of the people we've piloted this with have not been college age, so I can't say as much about gender differences in college age people. But women are more accustomed to sharing their lives than men. And so sometimes it can take a little while, but the men, we haven't seen gender differences. Men get into it, and they seem to value it. Obviously, some people more than others. So I think it's an interesting question, and would there be programs that were tailored more to genders? I don't know, and would that be useful? I do think, for example, I mean, to the question yesterday and to the work that Bill's doing, I think tailoring this kind of program to people of color, to people who are marginalized for various reasons, this is going to be vital. Like this one size would not fit all with this program, nor would it with any of the programs we've been hearing about. So anyway, thank you for your question about gender. I can't say I gave you a systematic answer because I don't think I know yet, but it's a really important one.